hello everybody. I need a chair that fits my ass. This is pre-show, so I don't have to. There's no ceremony.
No.
So, you remember how it works, Charlie? Things are a little different now. We have a splash screen up, so this is pre-show. People are essentially listening to this in the green room. Hopefully, they're hearing it correctly. Hello, everybody. I need a chair that fits my yep, I can hear you hearing it.
Yeah, it's on my phone. Let me mute that shit. There we go.
So, you know how it goes. You're welcome to partake in the conversation. However, I will not introduce you, and if you say your own name, you will be admonished.
Oh, okay. I'll just stay quiet.
Maybe that was,
introduce me.
I think that was part of the last time you came on, right? I don't think that's.
I don't remember.
I've always kept a very I feel like there's a saying that involves a ship that I'm forgetting. Keep a very tight ship. That's it. It's a tight ship. I was gonna say clean ship or a ropey ship. That's both wrong. Tight ship. So, Krista, what are we at people wise?
3 and 1 like.
All right. So first, since I know she will be watching later, I want to throw a big hello to Kayla, moderator Kayla. She's coming back from camping and is missing the show live, but we'll be hearing it later. And Charlie, we actually got Kayla from you.
Oh wow!
Siphoned straight off. She had been a fan of the Changes in Latitude podcast, and during the crossover, we hooked her, and bam.
Oh wow, that's so wonderful to hear.
So
yay!
Big hello
I'm happy to hear that.
To Kayla.
Well, hi, yeah, and I'm doing my thing over on my page.
Yeah, so we'll get into that, but
I figured we would.
Moral of the story is our typing square is less moderated, so it might get rowdy.
Oh.
Usually Kayla rules it with an iron fist, but since she is here, rather not here, sorry. Since she's not here, monkeys might rule the house.
I'm okay with that.
So what are we? Are we getting there, Krista?
It's the same.
It's the same. It's a slow. We're still building steam, I feel, and people are slow to trickle in. I feel like Fridays are when everybody is like just sort of crashing. They don't give a shit, and they'll reach for the easiest thing, and that's us. But Mondays and Wednesdays, people need to pick me up. That's why we do this.
Well, they also got that week drag going on,
Right.
Oh, tomorrow.
Not to be like an obnoxious Geico commercial, but it's Hump Day.
Hump Day?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I like to check in every Monday because Monday is when everybody's morale is at their lowest potentially, and then Wednesday the iceberg starts to melt and crack away. By Friday, you're a full-blown caveman running around, Encino Manning it up for the weekend, only to get frozen again on Monday.
I feel like Wednesdays suck. Like I hate like the middle of the week.
Wednesdays are rough because they can either be like, "Yeah, I did it," or like, "Oh yeah, bitch!" Like, you think this week is over?
Yeah. And there's like times where you think it's Thursday and you get all excited and you realize it's just Wednesday.
Well, that's not Wednesday's fault.
It sure is.
No.
It's not Wednesday's
Can't
fault.
blame that on Wednesday. What are we at, Chris?
4.
We're getting there.
And
We're
one
getting close. I don't want to start too early.
What's the criteria?
5. We have to wait for 5 people to show up because then I know that you're serious about what we're doing here.
Okay.
But the likes should count as viewers.
Maybe, but it's basically just a bullshit tactic so everyone can sort of shuffle in and, because I don't know if people are signed up for notifications or not, and they might be. What I'm saying is I don't want people to miss the show, so I always like to drag out the pre-show a little bit.
I don't blame you.
2-3 minutes. We're not going to go crazy. I want people to start looking at me. God damn it! I'm an attention whore. I'm trying like hell not to touch the mic, and I as soon as the camera rolls, I'm going to really. I might have to electrify the.
Put a shock thing on it.
Yeah,
that'll help.
For ferrets, they have that bitter apple spray, but I'm not chewing on it. The problem.
Thank God.
I had to give that up because I kept getting too many windscreens caught in my lower GI. I feel like I need to move before we go live, I'm going to move my Iron Man charm so people can actually see it because I feel like I keep looking at the string and people don't want to look at a string. They want to see Iron Man. Stark. Tony. Where does it hang? Here? That'd be pretty sick. I don't know if it's going to work. No, it's definitely not going to work. Bad news, everybody. Oh, wait. Nope. Wait. No, definitely not. Not going to work. Sorry. False alarm. Unless, wait, I might be a genius. Hold on. This is engineering you're listening to live on the radio.
But you can't see it.
Oh my gosh, it might work, but who knows if it'll face the right way? It won't! No! Whatever, it's there.
You can see his butt.
You see his, well, yeah, I guess you can see like his right butt cheek,
Yeah.
his buns of steel. Are we there yet? Let's say we're there.
We're there. Let's just do
Krista,
it.
let's hit that intro music.
Okie dokie.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Hey everybody and welcome to the show. My name is Dave and this is Until My Battery Dies. Thank you for joining us. As you may well know based on the title and the link that you may have clicked on. Returning guest, everybody since the show has become a different thing. Everybody's got to come back and try their legs out on it. Plus we have the FFOP 5 to run through. Please help me in welcoming friend of the show for God knows how many years now. We've got Charley Miller back on the program. What up,
Yay!
Charlie?
Thank you.
So, let's. We've got a lot to talk about. I want to talk about what the upcoming news or changes that are going to, not whatever, no pun intended, in changes in Latitude. What's going to be coming down the pipe? I want to touch base. I want to talk about all sorts of stuff. But first, we've got something very important to do. That thing is the FFOP 5. So, the FFOP 5 is a perfect psychological test that I devised myself that I'm going to basically administer unto you. This will essentially determine our interactions for the rest of our lives. So no pressure, but it's very important. Are you ready, Charlie?
Okay.
These are all very...
Sure.
Trust me, when you start hearing these questions, you're going to be like, yes, this is the perfect psychological profile. I'm thinking about expanding it to 10 to make it even more complete, but it might be too probing. So.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Also, I'm wearing my DJ costume again for a reference I'm going to make later. So hold on to that thought if you're wondering why I'm wearing this stuff. Also,
I like the hat.
Yeah, I always wear the hat. My Arizona hat, I got a rep. Plus, it's like the most comfortable hat I've got. And since I've got Corona quarantine hair, like, here's the beauty. Like, you get yourself some over-the-ears headphones and a hat, you can't tell that I've got a really bad thing happening. It's all tucked away. You focus on the beard. You focus on the shades. All right. Okay, so question number 1 of the FFOP 5. What is something you're into that most people aren't?
Oh.
I can give you examples if you want.
Yeah, go ahead and shoot me some examples.
So, for instance, something I'm into that I could talk a lot about that I bet most people could not. Dinosaurs is always a go-to for me, but that's an obvious
what I was going to
one.
say.
That's an
for you.
obvious one. But something obscure that no one knows, maybe I haven't cornered anybody about yet, is I know a lot about 3D printers. I know a lot about the mechanics. I know about stepper motors, and I know about that programming. I know about STL files. But
Wow.
I would not, that's something I could corner someone at a party when I get drunk and just bore them into the ground. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for.
Bore him into the ground?
Not necessarily.
Come on, you've known me for what, 9 years now? Maybe eight years?
I have...
I am not boring.
No, but I'm saying, you are so well-versed that someone outside of that sphere would be like, yeah, whoa, enough.
Oh, okay. Well, that would be probably Marx Brothers. We'll just sum it up as trivia.
I was going to... That was the thing that struck me. And so...
Yeah.
Now,
Totally.
With the Marx Brothers, can we go beyond the film trivia? Do you know about them personally, or is it just all the movie stuff?
Yeah. Personally, no. I just know it's popular. Chico couldn't keep it in his pants, and Groucho didn't know how to treat women, and
It was
Harpo, the one that never spoke, was one of the best and sweetest of all of them. So yeah.
you know, not for nothing, but I mean, money still corrupted back then. And if you are like the five Marx Brothers, and all of a sudden you're a household name,
Yeah, exactly.
Chico's
Yeah, and Chico
gotta-
couldn't stay away from the gambling, and couldn't keep it in his pants.
but-
That's why he's called Chico, because he chased the chicks.
Yep, he was a That's I saw an interview of him when he was like really old, and he was like, yeah, I used to chase the chickies around, and I'm like, oh my
That's it.
god, of course you
That's
did.
it.
He
That's
was
it.
He was a piano playing millionaire movie star. Of course he was getting the chicks. Let's be real.
He never had the money. As soon as he made it, he lost it to gambling. He lost it away.
Right, but the
Bugsy
reputation.
Siegel, there was a check in Bugsy Siegel's pocket when he was killed from Chico Marx, and if he had cashed it, it would have bounced.
Well, good thing he was killed, I suppose.
Yeah, because Chico would have been killed.
Oh my gosh. All right, so yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm looking for, because
Okay. All right.
like
Yeah, no, that's it for me. No, I bore a lot of people with that shit.
But let's get into it, because I personally think that the mirror scene.
Oh
in-
my god.
Is it Duck Soup?
Oh shit, you're pulling my trivia head.
I think it's
believe
Duck
so.
Soup.
I believe so.
Yeah,
I believe so.
Duck Soup is the one they take place on the ship.
Somebody will correct us.
And the Groucho and Harpo mirror scene, if you've seen that, is so funny to this day. You've seen it a million times reproduced everywhere, trust me. But the original is the best.
You know, one thing about the original, in a lot of things on the internet, oh God, probably 10 plus years ago, when I first was searching for Marx Brothers stuff out there that I hadn't heard of, so many times that clip was sped up. So it was more cartoonish than how it
Yeah.
actually was portrayed. And that always bothered me.
Well, I can like in the early days I can kind of see that, because they're basically saying like, oh, it's Looney Tunes and stuff. But
Well, no, it was people for contemporary stuff to speed it up because they didn't want to sit so long and watch the whole
oh
thing.
yeah, maybe that's it. That's
That was my guess.
that yeah, but old comedy has a very specific
Oh, it's a different
flavor.
timing. Oh my, not just flavor, it's the timing of the jokes. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some stuff that's going to translate and come forward in time, but there's some stuff that'll just never, and some stuff that should stay back there.
Right. I think most of the Marx Brothers stuff, like, it's still good. Like, every time I watch Horse Feathers or any of them, let's not be like, oh, I love this one more than that one. I love them all.
Yeah, I say by this, come on, you got to love them all. There are
Yeah.
some more that I kind of lean towards. Duck Soup and Animal Crackers are probably my top two, but I still love A Night at the Opera, A Day at the Races, A Monkey Business. I
boy.
mean, they're all, I mean, well, some of the older ones are kind of,
A Day at the
But-
Races is in my
Right?
wheelhouse. I think that one, the fact that now refresh my memory, because all of these sort of blend together. But A Day
They
at the
do.
Races is the horse racing one that also takes place at the sanitarium.
yes,
Yes, because Groucho's a horse doctor.
that's right.
Oh my god, one of my favorite.
It's great.
Here's a tangent. One of my favorite all-time jokes is like, since he's a horse doctor, he's slipping this lady who has got hypochondria a pill, and it's this huge horse pill. And one of the real doctors is like, how do you expect her to take a pill like that? It must take a lot of water. And you're like, well, if the patient has a bridge in their mouth, it's different, because the water flows under the bridge. And the patient goes over
Yeah.
the bridge and meets the pill on the other side.
On the other side. Oh, nice quote, Dave.
I listen. My grandmother, before she left me, gave me the Marx Brothers, and the other thing that always sticks out is those magnificent men in their flying machines.
Oh, God, I'm old, rusty on that one.
It's-
Shit, I haven't seen that forever.
That's one of those movies like 9 to 5 where I've seen a lot, and unreasonably, because like kids my age, like in the 80s, that weren't watching like hilarious musicals that have a full-blown intermission in the middle on the VHS.
Right?
Why not?
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang was that way too.
Wow. Okay, I get it in the movie theater. You want to get up, you want to take a leak, you want to get some popcorn. We're at home now. Like, I have a pause button. Cut the intermission out. That was the most as a child. Oh,
Yep.
that's when I
Yep.
knew. That's when I knew
Yep.
my job was to complain.
So that you knew that young, huh?
When I was watching those magnificent men in their flying machine. They go up, diddly up, up, and then halfway through the movie, you've got 15 minutes of a cartoon plane going diddly doo doo dee 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 dee. And as a kid, I'm like, what is going on? Today, as
The
an
original
adult,
My Fair Lady had that too.
it's past people. Get it together. Jesus Christ. All right, so
Okay.
number 1 down. Number 2, here we go.
Okay. Number 2.
Give me a band that you could listen to, Charlie, for the rest of your life exclusively. Exclusively.
Ooh. Well, I'm gonna have to say Weird Al and his
Okay.
band.
All right. That's a great one because number 1, still active, and number 2, huge catalog.
Huge, and it's diverse.
And you also kind of get literally every other type of song.
You do with his polkas. Yes,
Yeah,
totally.
Like if yeah, cover bands, like you can basically get whatever you want whenever you want because they're always moving through stuff. Sure, the lyrics are a little zany, but I mean melodically it's solid.
Yeah, no, totally Weird Al. I've loved him since he started.
All right, that's the first. I don't know. I never expected to hear Weird Al.
I stumped Dave.
From anybody. Like I thought, because like let's say, forever you're gonna end up on a desert island, and you're only like I'll have speakers, planted around the beach for you, and that's pick the artist. You say Weird Al. I say, oh, okay. Never in a million years would I thought that.
Yeah, no, totally.
All right.
Absolutely.
That's a wild card, and you know what? A wild card, although not always. Well, they're always wild, is what I'm going to say. So, I like that answer. Is what I'm getting at.
Thank you.
Number 3, and this one is divisive because
Ooh.
I don't know why. It seems cut and dry to me, but other people don't seem to follow logic. So, Charlie, you got 4 limbs, and you have to lose one of them right now. Which one is it going to be?
The fuck kind of question is that?
A great one is the answer to that. And now I need
Stuck
your
on a
answer.
desert island, listening to Weird Al, having lost a limb.
Mhm.
Jesus Christ!
These are not necessarily compounded.
Oh, okay.
So don't let the previous question influence this one. This is just Reg's ass Charley Miller running around San Diego.
I'd have to say probably left leg.
There we go. See, now that is the correct answer. Why doesn't everybody say that?
Wait, how is that the correct answer?
Because
there can't be any correct answer.
No, here's the thing, Charlie. You will hear what the correct answer is, and then, anyone will hear what the correct answer is because it makes the most sense. And but there's a subset of people out there, I call them armors, who will choose to lose an arm over a leg. And you losing the elbow, the wrist, all the joints in the hand. Are you kidding me?
Wow. Okay.
I'm on hashtag Team Lose a Leg. Right? Let's build that brand. This is FFOP's Team Jacob and Edward. You got Team Lose a Leg and Team. Oh my God, my battery's dying.
What?
I just put this one in. I am so angry. Who's in the typing square?
Nobody.
Okay, so guys, we're gonna have to take a break. I'm gonna come back. I'm so angry. Okay, we'll be right back after these messages, guys. So let's see what happens.
So I guess we'll see.
Okay.
Ying.
Isn't that supposed to be the end? Cherish says.
What the end?
Oh, your battery dies.
Oh well, that was bullshit.
We only
Show
got
is
through
called
3
Until
questions.
My battery dies. It says live.
So can you
But
see the
I
can you see the logo?
Fistful of Podcast logo.
Then we are live. So what I'm gonna do is do this.
That's fun.
Boing.
So
we are back.
So if that happens, we just lower we don't end the stream on
Yeah.
my side.
So caveat for everybody who shows up in the future: if the battery dies unnecessarily early, I'm pissed about it. It doesn't mean the show. That was plugged in. That was
Plugged in?
overnight. Overnight it charged.
Wow.
And whatever. My battery troubles are my own. But so yeah, left leg. Hashtag team lose a leg. Please get that trending. I cannot stop touching the microphone. I'm sorry, everybody.
Yeah, you lost like.
There's nothing I can do.
You
I was
lost
trying to touch
18
it
minutes
less.
ago.
I wasn't going to try not to touch it at all. I was going to try and touch it less.
Yeah, well,
but I can't. I
Uh-huh,
need a better chair.
I heard touch it at all, but
Right,
you know.
me too. It's
Well,
like-
whatever. Give me a chair. Give me a better chair in this. Listen, this chair has been under my specific ass for at least 10 years. And before that, it put in several hard, God knows how many years, under the asses of fat office workers. So the fact that it's standing at all is a testament to 90s ingenuity, because that's when this baby was reared, 1996. And I'm sitting on it to this day.
Wow.
Not to big up my chair, but hashtag my chair, sucks. Very old. It's like sitting on an old man. All right, so
Well, I don't know about that. Have you ever sat on an old man? I mean, I have, so that's why I'm asking.
I'm pulling from personal experience. It's very
Okay.
like lumpy and uncomfortable, and all the ribs are there. It's not good. Number four of the FFOP. Fuck.
Try that again.
Take two. Let me take a little sip.
Chair says hashtag Dave needs a new chair.
Hashtag, get it trending, everybody. I'm gonna start a Kickstarter for my ass. I'm gonna raise.
Kickstarter for your ass.
yeah,
You see the double entendre there, right?
Yeah, that's what it'll be. I want to get $113 for my ass, so I can get a nice
So
chair.
specific.
Look, you can't even see the back because it's so low and crappy. Like it's whatever. Somebody in China put this together in 1996, thinking, "Good luck serving as secretary in an office for 6 months," and here we are. How many decades later, and it's under my ass.
They didn't put it together because the thing comes apart.
They
in a box.
shipped it.
No, this one is like together. Like this one is when they used to build chairs and leave them. This is a chair. I can't. Here's the thing. You've heard me complain. This is now a show about my chair, Charlie. Sorry, but
No, that's fine. I'm just happy to be here.
you've heard me complain about my chair multiple times about how squeaky it is. And guess why it's squeaky? Because it's put together in such a way that I cannot take it apart to oil this goddamn bastard. Because it was built with 90s ingenuity. Hashtag I love the 90s. Hashtag
Dave needs a new chair.
Dave needs a new chair. Thank you, Cherish. This is available in our store. Also, guys, this came in. I wanted to say, be like Popeye. Here's my gator cloth. Oh, God. I'm really underprepared. Here it is. Whatever. Guys, you get it. Okay. Yeah, question 4 of the FFOP5, Charlie. Buckle up.
Okay.
What animal would you like to test drive the body of for a long weekend? You got 3 days in this animal body. It is Thanksgiving weekend. No, that's what I'll give you. I'll give you 4 days. We'll make it extra special since you're a returning guest. 4 days. You got the Thanksgiving weekend. You got Thanksgiving all the way through Sunday in this animal body. What is it?
Wow, that's tough.
You don't think about these things?
Probably a cat.
What kind of cat? Big cat or a house cat?
See, that's the part I was trying to figure out.
Because we've got a lot of
probably-
variables here. We're going to unpack this.
Probably a big cat
Okay, so are we going
in the wild.
Okay, so in the wild. Now, are we going African cat, South American cat?
You're getting too specific.
This is what we do. This is a probing interview. Now, with your South American
South
cats-
American, I guess. I don't
Okay.
know. I don't really know that many cats.
No, that's fine. So what we're going to be breaking it down into is your South American cat's going to be lithe and nimble in the trees, while your African cats are going to be stable and sturdy on the ground.
I'll take the trees.
Okay, so now we've got our choice of like the jaguar, the panther. That's pretty much it. Then we start moving
Puma?
into like the lower medium-sized cats. What are we
No,
thinking?
I'll be a jaguar.
Okay, now maybe the last. So we're going wild jaguar in the wild. No zoo for you. No San Diego
Nope.
Zoo for Charley Miller.
No, not this time around.
So you got that body for 4 days. You're going to get hungry. Are you going to partake of a hunt?
Well, yeah.
That's right. That's the right answer. Every
You
time
got
I
to get
ask that,
food. You
yeah.
need to have food. I'm not going to starve for 4 days. You give me an extra day,
Look,
I'm going to definitely have to get food.
some people have whatever scruples they have, despite being in a different body altogether. So I always ask because that is the most fascinating thing to me. If you go into a body of a killer animal and I say, "You're gonna kill something in that killer animal," and they go, "No," I go, "What the? Why? Why?
Why do it?
Why be an animal that kills?"
Even if I chose to go with a house cat, I would probably still go hunt down a mouse.
I'm waiting for the day that I get someone on and they're like the murder hornet, and I'm like, "You gonna murder someone?" And they go, "Oh no, I just want to build a nest and hang out and be a bird." Shut up. I want, if you're in a murder body, I want, taking advantage, because you want to test out, like when you rent a car, you run it through its paces. You don't lightly tap the gas. You put yourself in a panther body, I would be chasing wild pigs and terrorizing a small village.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah.
But since still my own brain and my own body, I'm not going to kill anybody, but I will terrorize them for a 4-day period.
Yeah. The wild jaguar.
Yeah, and then bam. Then you got probably legends, songs about you.
Yeah. Be like Kaiser Sose.
Yeah, and here's the thing: since it's your brain, I would even do up my face in like white paint and stuff, and make myself all weird, like the intelligence of a man and a panther. I would make like horns. I would craft stuff. I would walk. Since I would be me, obviously.
How would you do that with the claws?
Yeah, I'm not saying it would be easy. But
okay.
I think under the cover of night, here's what I would do. I would sneak in real quiet, and steal some clothes off a clothesline. The next day, walk in like I'm just one of the gang, on my hind feet, like as a panther, like all unstable and shit, but like with a grass skirt or whatever. And just like wave,
like Scooby-Doo when he tries to be human.
Like wave my paw at people and be like, and just see what happens. See if the social contract of like, hey, if they're not bothering you, leave them alone, holds up in the jungle. That's why I like these questions.
Yeah, that would be fun.
We learn about ourselves.
Okay.
And plus now
I suppose so.
Yeah, plus now you have like a built-in vacation for when they build the holodecks finally.
Oh, true.
I can't wait for the holodecks. If there's one
holodecks
sci-fi,
would be amazing.
Oh, if there's one sci-fi thing, even if they were only like confined to like, let's say this room, you got a 10 by 10, because I know in Star Trek you can run for miles and yada yada. Even if it was confined to a tiny room like my studio, yeah, I would be there all day, every day.
Yeah.
Final question.
Because you could change it in a heartbeat.
Totally. And plus it's like, even if it's not, I can make the walls look like a beach. I don't need to run toward the water and smash my face into the wall.
Right.
I can just sit there, enjoy a nice mimosa. Not mimosa, mojito. Never get a mimosa on the beach unless you're like a boozy soccer mom. Anywho, last question, Charlie, of the FFOP 5.
Okay.
On a scale of 1 to 10, and I need to stress that this is important. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you love Steven Seagal? This is important. Maybe the
scale
most
of 1 to 10?
1 to 10.
Okay, I'm assuming 1 is the lowest and 10 is the highest?
That is correct. Everybody asks that, and I'm always so confused by it.
Well, I think people are just trying to confirm. Okay. I got kind of twofold answer here.
Ooh.
It's kind of strange. Back in the day of like the late 80s when he started in those action movies, for like the first 2 or 3 action movies. Yeah.
Above the Law.
Yeah. Those first few, he was tight. He was like a good 7. Maybe an 8. Now, or really ever since then, shit. More like probably a 3.
Here's an interesting metaphor for Steven Seagal's career. So there is a scientific fact that there has been more time between the existence of the Stegosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex than there has been between the Tyrannosaurus Rex and us. And at this point, there has been more time with Steven making shitty movies than he has ever made good anything. And now nothing can change that. The hands of time have swept Steven away. But like, how in
He still pops up and shit.
Right, but I mean physically, like in Raiders, how they all get melted, they blow away and get desiccated. Somehow he got the reverse of that, and he's been
Ah!
blowing up like a Macy's Thanksgiving Day balloon ever since.
Yeah, he's like he got money, he started eating and stopped exercising.
Action.
Like Brando.
You gotta. Oof, Brando's another story. Oof, we could talk about the Island of Dr. Moreau for quite a while.
Oh God, please no.
Oh boy.
No.
So
Oh, Jesus.
finish.
I didn't even
the
watch
rest-
that all the way through.
What maybe one of my favorites of like not Brando but Kilmer, because I there's a very
Yeah, okay.
there's a time in Val Kilmer's career that is a lot like Steven Seagal's, in my opinion, in that it is hilariously, ironically enjoyable.
Yeah, he's got a few good ones. He's got some good ones. I will say so that.
So back to Steven.
Can't think of it right now. Back to Steven. Yes. Yeah. Okay. So go.
So you're saying I need the second half of your story, because you said on the one hand it's a 7.
Yeah. Okay. So back when he started, it was like a 7, but he pretty quickly moved away from that, and I'd say he's probably a 3 now.
Okay, so I need a final answer.
Oh, fuck you.
Like we can't. Here's the
Okay. All right. Overall, then.
Yeah,
all
like,
right.
as of
Overall, he's
today.
gonna get a 4.
I would have stuck with 3.
Well, I did like his first some of his first couple movies, so I'll
That's-
give him some credit for that.
Here's the compelling thing about Steven Seagal is everybody who I ask this question gives this exact answer. They say, well, circa 1989, bam, but today, blah. So I get it. Like, Steven Seagal did have an unironic period, but it is a mere pebble on the beach of his work now.
Totally. Oh my God. Totally.
So I'm saying, like, Steven Seagal today, like, we don't have time machines. Steven
Today,
Seagal
3.
today, yeah.
Yeah, I'll stick with the 3, maybe a 3.5.
I say stick with the 3 because polarity is what sells.
Okay.
All right, nice. All the way through the FFOP 5 and no major malfunctions, no meltdowns.
Not on my side.
No, I mean usually it's over here.
Yeah.
Oh. Well, you camera.
So let me. I got a bunch of stuff I want to go over. But first, you are from the California area, so please tell me you are familiar with the radio personality of Tom Leykis.
Oh yeah. I recognize the name. I know I've heard him on the radio. I can't really place him per se, but yeah.
He's like the most maybe yeah. He's like he's the world's most mediocre misogynist.
Mm-hmm.
I was hoping you'd know more about him, because
No, I don't know that much about him, because if he's a misogynistic, I didn't really listen.
He's a real piece of garbage. But
Yeah, so I didn't listen.
there was a time, and I think this might have been true, but there was a time when I think he was doing it like as a character to be like goofing on dudes, but somehow like he became his own human centipede and just started believing the bullshit he kept feeding other people. So that's what I would like to think anyway. I would like to think he's not like he wasn't born like a shit stain.
No, but he became one.
Totally. But you know, if you got millions of dudes being like, "Hey, blow me up, Papa Tom, I love you," like,
Yeah. See, that's bizarre.
yeah, he's a nut job. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I didn't listen to that.
all right. I was hoping for more of a connection there because
Sorry.
nobody, and I figured because everybody asked me if he was regional, and I heard him in Arizona,
No.
so I know he's spread out.
Southwest. He's in the greater Southwest, Los Angeles down to San Diego, and probably out towards you guys.
He's like an authentic salsa. You only find him here in the Southwest. I wish Kayla were here. Okay, so Charlie, let's talk about changes in Latitude because I see there's rumblings, there's changes. What's happening moving forward?
Moving forward, well, instead of doing the traditional podcast method that I had been doing for years, it just it's too well. One, the computer I have that I'm using, it can't handle the production.
Right.
It's just it's a borrowed computer and it's limited space and yada yada. Also, wrong platform for all my previous stuff. Anyhow,
Okay.
so that's one problem. Another thing is just production time and all that. And so I finally, after thinking on and off for years, what to do, and really this whole what do we call this pandemic quarantine that we've been going through for 7 months now
Yeah.
has I mean, it's life changing because I was let go from my work, so I had a whole shit ton of time to think about a lot of different things. And so I'm like, I need to get back out there and share my story, continue to share my story. So I have migrated it over to the Facebook page, which has been in existence since the podcast started. And I'm going to be putting out some videos. Probably the production schedule I'm looking at is about every 2 weeks. Put out, I don't know, 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah. I totally get, like, one of my mottos is the path of least resistance. And now bringing the show back, as the podcast start now doing, like, these live shows, I got to tell you, the live shows are way easier because it's happening, people are watching it, and then it's gone out of my mind.
Exactly.
The recorded stuff, however, I have to go over and dissect and digest and edit. And I end up being prouder of that product. However, it is a larger pain in my ass.
Exactly. It's a product that you're proud of. You put time, energy, thought, and processes to, and you get this beautiful piece of material out at the end. And then you turn around and continue doing it every week, every 2 weeks, whatever your production schedule is. And it takes a lot of energy.
And
I just don't have the time to do that.
Yeah, I get that. And I don't want to downplay like the live stuff because I do like doing the live stuff. I think all the live stuff we do is super cool and it's a great way to engage. But it's not the same thing.
No, it's
because
not.
I like taking something and making it sleek. I also like keeping it loose like this, and that's why I like to do both. I like to have like that control over audio quality. I'm anal about that, obviously. With the live stuff, I can relax a little bit.
Totally.
But only slightly.
Yeah. But only slightly. Yeah. No, I get it.
So is it just going to be a Facebook show essentially?
That's my plan right now. Yeah. Yeah. I got the fan base over on Facebook because I thought for a brief moment, well, maybe I'll move it to YouTube because, bigger domain and all that.
Right.
And all that. And I said, no, I've got a foundation. I got some people that are still at least linked as fans to the show. Who knows if they check Facebook? Who knows if they check my page? But at least there's a place to start.
It's so hard not to be old man Dave, but here's what you're gonna start feeling if you want to start branching out is like everybody is spread everywhere. Like if you just make everyone you know a bean and make every social media platform a can and just throw. Because they're all split up and some won't make it at all. I can't believe the amount of people I have to personally text from my phone to be like, hey, guess what's happening? I released a show.
I do see your pop-ups come up on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and I do think about joining, but typically right around the time is dinner time. Today I moved it earlier, but that's usually when dinner time's happening. So I'm like, oh fuck, I can't listen right now.
Our show is beholden to the fact that my kid craps out at 7:00.
No, I think that's perfect for you too.
So yeah, that's the thing though, and since you can record it and everybody can watch it later, it's been the easiest sort of move. But that's every day. The first like 5 hours I'm awake, I'm checking this portal, that portal, this portal, that portal. I'm making sure everybody has the right. Oh my god, it's like this is obviously going to be over dramatic, but I kind of feel like a farmer waking up early in the morning, getting to every animal enclosure and throwing a different feed to make sure everybody's got what they need. And I am like rubbing my eyes and the sun isn't up yet. And then the coffee
I know
hits,
the feeling. Yeah.
And then I
that's
overposting.
That is so overposted. Yeah, no shit. That is so much the feeling because I had that back in the day when I was really in the heyday of changes in latitudes.
It's gonzo.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, it's I stored the episodes on Internet Archive, so they're still there. But the feed is probably not on iTunes. They clean out their shit all the time.
Oh, I guarantee somebody in Germany has stolen and reposted your content because that's what they
Oh.
did for us.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there are servers in, I know for sure, Germany. There's a site in China that still hosts the show, and I'm thinking,
Wow.
number one, why would you want it, and number two,
Yeah.
who's coming knocking on the door asking for it?
Right? Yeah. See, that's kind of my thought too. I mean, I've got a very specific audience, and that makes sense. I had a very specific tale, very specific stories to tell, outlooks to give. But your freeform, loose show, even back in the day, I mean, it's a morning show. Your show is such a morning show on a bender. That's the one reason I love it.
Here's my sadness is, like, I used to tell people it's like a morning talk show, but then those stopped being a thing, and everybody stopped remembering what a morning radio show was. Like, there was no radio is now a shambling corpse of what it once was, and there are no more. Like, I remember listening to, like, Dead Air Dave here. We had a whole station dedicated to talk.
Yeah, there was a whole station here and in LA to talk radio. Yeah.
And that was where I got most of my stuff, because, like, that's where I heard Tom Likas and the Adam Carolla Show, Frosty, Heidi, and Frank.
Oh yeah, Adam Carolla. Yeah.
Yeah, all that stuff. I was in love, and still am in love, with the medium of talk radio and podcasting, and it's sad that that radio.
Well, there's still morning radio shows out here in San Diego, but they're very specific. They're 2 or 3 people talking about what's topical and making jokes.
You've got to be huge. You have to be like a Kevin and Bean, or you have to be like an Amos and Andy, I think, or Ollie and Andy, or Amos and Ollie. I don't know. Those 2 dudes on Sirius. I don't pay for Sirius. I don't know them. But
I don't know either.
But you've got to be, if you're on terrestrial radio, you're a huge deal. And if you're on satellite radio, you might be a big deal, unless you're Howard Stern, in which case you definitely are.
Right. Okay.
But the morning show, I always loved the idea of, because I was always a cranky asshole in the morning, because typically I was waking up at 4 to go pull wire in 112-degree weather later.
Oof.
So when I had those morning shows that were comedy, inspired, at least, like, not always were they funny, but at least they were trying.
Yeah, totally.
It's a nice pick-me-up. And so I hope, obviously I can't control when you hear the show, but I hope you are listening to it in the morning, or at least when you're on your way to doing something shitty, or in the middle of doing something shitty, so you can get through it.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
But then you sort of, and I've done this too, there are certain shows and or albums and or whatever that I associate with being completely miserable now, simply, by, like, conditioning. Like, I Pavlov dog myself.
Oh, no.
But, everything can be undone.
Well, I suppose, but that's tough. Muscle memory is a hard thing to break.
It's rough. But every time I think about complaining about it, I convince myself, and this could be bullshit, because I'm not a scientist, full disclosure. But every time
my God.
I know. You were probably looking at this outfit and thinking, scientist?
Yeah. Looks
Sorry.
like Doc Brown.
Yeah, I got my own Marty McFly. I forgot where I was going. We went off.
So sorry.
You're not a scientist.
I'm not a scientist, but, and that's the thing I forgot, is the but.
Oh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What were we talking about?
Never a good thing to forget a butt.
We had, man, it was really good, I bet, too. Someone in the typing square. What were we just talking about? No, it's fine. That happens. Morning radio. Oh, well.
Do you think that people will be happier if they watch it in the morning? Listen to
yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think you can teach yourself to associate something with something you hate, and I hope that's not us. Like, I hope it makes the thing that you hate better. That's what I'm getting at. Because this happens with people too. Like you meet someone and they get into the thing that you are into, whether it be a movie or some music or an artist or whatever, and then that person turns out to be an asshole and ruins that thing for you.
Yeah.
Same
I can-
principle.
Yeah.
I don't need specifics, Charlie, but I'm going to tell you a story, and then I'm going to ask you about it.
Okay.
So one of the things that was ruined for me, almost entirely, but I have been building back, and it's come up on the show actually, was Kiss. When I found Kiss, I was in high school, and I was like, yes, Kiss is awesome. And my girlfriend at the time got into it, and then we had a blowout of a breakup, and I never, like, Kiss was something that was burned up in the flame of that explosion. So I got to listen to Kiss for a solid, like, 4 years, and then it all burned away, and I'm trying to slowly teach. I realize I'm just missing out on, like, some generic butt rock, but it's still something I miss.
Right. No, I get that.
So what's something that you have gotten burned away in an experience like that?
Oh, shit.
'Cause I think those are the things that make us like that. That would be something that could point you in a completely different direction, because even things that remind you of that could be off limits.
I'd have to say there's a handful of songs.
Okay.
But different artists, different genres, different styles, different periods of time.
Well, give me
That-
one. Give me like one that sticks out. Like whenever you hear it, you're like, I hate that song.
Yeah, shit, I should think of that. See, I don't think of them because they piss me off. Oh,
Yeah,
shit.
I guess
Give me
'cause
a second.
I had a whole band and its entire catalog wiped out. But I've also had songs that have. Here's another example. Here's a song that I never liked, but I hated from the word go. Now the title will escape me, but Shaggy. Oh, it wasn't me. From the first note, that song burned my innards to a black charred crisp. I hated it so much.
Wow, I don't even know the song.
Trust me, it's not good. But I also had
Okay.
a lot of stuff going on, and there's also same girlfriend who took Kiss from me made that song something that I wanted to kill someone over.
Okay.
So I got a twofer.
Oh, shit.
Well, that was it.
Yeah,
What?
So that was it. What do you got?
Oh, I thought
Those
you
were my
had a
two.
twofer.
Yeah,
Those
same
are your two.
girl,
Okay,
same
so
girl
for me,
ruined- yeah.
Sorry, silence. What happened there?
there.
So for
There,
me,
there.
I'd have to say, I can't remember the artist, but it's the song "When You Say Nothing at All."
Oh yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, that one I probably can. I really shouldn't and can't listen to
Is it
ever again.
It's a country track, right?
Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
not Trisha Year, what are Faith
Faith
something
Hill.
Hill. One of them.
I can't remember. I don't know artists.
I know the
or-
song. I know the song.
Yeah. So that's the one for me.
For completely petty and obnoxious reasons, and for legitimate ones too, but the Titanic song that Celine Dion did,
Oh yeah, that one.
Oh.
It just got overplayed.
if I could shoot one song into space so that no one could ever listen to it again, that would be in the top 5, probably.
Well, you need to bury it. Don't shoot it into space. Once they find it, they will play it.
I'm
Bury
gonna
it.
shoot it into the sun. Or any
Oh,
star.
okay,
I don't care or a black hole. I need it either crushed to a singularity or burned to mere atoms.
Perfect.
Goodbye, Titanic.
In more ways than one.
Oh my gosh. So
Yeah.
go for it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I was just gonna say, that song was part of my past relationship, and it's just not something I can hear.
That's something how do I want to put this? Every type of art has its own picadillos, because I guarantee that more often than not, now I'm not going to say never, because I'm sure there is someone out there who is about to do the exact thing I'm about to describe, but there is nobody out there who like walks through an art gallery and looks at a painting and is like, I can't look at that anymore because of Gary, and they turn around and they run out of the loop. songs are one of those things that a breakup can turn into a knife. But there's no. I shouldn't say no. There's also, and movies is one of those things too that I'm sure there are a fringe, but movies are less ubiquitous in our culture. You're not going to walk into a store and a movie's going to be playing overhead on the speakers. And so music is one of those things that since you're always around it and always reminded of it, it's one of those bits of culture that has this strange like venom to it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, music is a way to actually time travel.
Yeah.
Because it's that period of time when that track was recorded, whatever that was recorded, whether it be 6 months ago or 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And so it's a form of time traveling back to that period of time. And if you have an emotional connection to that song or that period of time, you can't help but have an emotional reaction listening to it again.
But the peculiarity of music is it's everywhere, so you're forced to deal with these things at random moments. Like, there's never going to be a time when you're walking around. Like, let's say you're the person, the hypothetical straw man in my painting scenario. You won't be at, like, an outdoor mall at a shopping center under the misters and then walk by a storefront and there's a print of that painting and you're like, oh! Like, that'll never happen. But you will be walking around and hearing music. You will be going into a movie theater and hearing music playing. So it's the one thing that's always there to remind you, but it's like a landmine.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
A movie, people will watch a movie to feel a certain way, to feel bad, to relive a memory. But music is the only thing that is like not intentionally, evilly, but forcing its will upon you simply because it exists and you've already made those connections. So you can be completely assaulted in a, like, here's the thing, not to be a bummer. I'm not going to say assaulted. Let's say I'm walking through a parking lot and I hear my favorite song. You better believe that for the rest of that walk, I've got a spring in my step because Cher is my jam.
Right. Yeah. No, I was listening to you, and yeah, music, well, I think we all form an emotional connection to it. For whatever reason, how we're feeling at that moment. Maybe we heard it at work for the first time, so it makes us constantly think of our coworkers.
And the message.
Or we heard it when,
That's all you need. You
exactly.
don't need to tie it necessarily to a time or a place, but like if the message, that's another thing. Like, you may be in this camp, but like Rage Against the Machine, if you are a fan of theirs, I get it, but I am not.
No, I'm not. I mean, I've heard their music. I've heard of them. Which is for me, if you know anything about me and music, is pretty impressive. But I couldn't name any songs.
They're one of those bands that, like, I get the message. I totally understand where you're coming from. However, the music is atrocious. But it's different to everybody, and I think that it's also personal. That's why I like having, more often than not, outside of paleontologists, I like having musicians on the show because they're storytellers, and that's why you've come on the show so quickly, is you're a storyteller, and I like hearing, like, that's what the FFOP5 is about. It's about getting people's stories.
Well, I liked it. They were fun, and you should make it 10.
It took years of study to get to 5. I don't know how long it'll take me to get to 10, so we'll have to see what happens.
Well, maybe it becomes 6, then 7, then 8, then 9, and finally 10.
I need to do it in chunks, because if people are going to be like a recurring guest, I don't want to have to needle them one question at a time per. I want to hit them like maybe 5 at a time, just like buckshot them. Bam.
There you go.
So we'll see.
Go.
Maybe I'll start asking
like a shotgun.
Like the serial killer trifecta, to start weeding people out. I said, when was the last time you went to bed? How do you feel about fire? What if you had a gerbil?
Wow.
Would you kill it? Then I can be like, oh, and then like end the broadcast immediately.
Wait, have a Criminal Minds episode?
Yeah, like a true crime podcast where I'm actively probing people I know for serial killers.
Jesus. I'd listen.
It would be a weird experiment, because what if you found one and then you're like, oh, my uncle, he's a serial killer.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Hi, I found this person while doing research for my podcast.
You would need to be like an Andy Kaufman-esque like alternative comedy or alternative media genius to like dig into the depths of your family history and to go looking for murderers.
That would be Andy Kaufman for sure.
I'd watch it though, and then you'd watch the Jim Carrey remake in 10 years.
Yeah, totally, right? Yeah, exactly. I saw it when it opened.
Oh, I'm sure. So, what else is going on, Charlie? So aside from the podcast or I'm not sure what to call it, the show.
Video cast, I guess. We'll just gotta call it a show. I mean,
I've fallen on. I like broadcast because live stream always feels so. I don't like the term stream. I guess I liked when you would watch the news and they would say live broadcast. They never say live stream. I like a live broadcast.
Live broadcast. Okay, I can sleep with that. That's good. What's going on with me? Well, looking for work. As I'm sure many people are in the world.
Things are really rough.
Yeah. In my downtime, I have been watching a lot of Netflix. Recently, I'm going back through Criminal Minds. We were just talking about serial killers.
Yeah.
And practicing some magic, actually.
Oh, that's fun. I'm a sucker for magic, and every time.
Are you?
Luckily, I don't pass by very many magic shops anymore because I would be stone flat broke. We went to quick personal story. We went to Vegas for our honeymoon, and they had a magic shop in where did we stay? The Venetian. We stayed in the Venetian, beautiful hotel. Had a magic shop. I was in there every day.
Houdini's?
Probably.
Maybe, probably.
I worked at a Houdini's when it was up in Orange County. They had one at the Irvine Spectrum, and I worked there for about a year.
Probably was, but full disclosure, I had been drinking yards of alcohol. Yards.
Oh, okay. Well, then, yeah, no, chances are, because they had like 6 or 8 all over, all over Vegas in every hotel. Yeah.
That probably also compounded my affliction. But that's the thing. When you walk into a magic shop, they will do a small magic show for you every time.
Yeah, they will show you stuff, and then they want you to buy it.
Yeah.
They are like car salesmen. I know.
That's
I did
why
it.
I went every day, because there might be a new guy and there might be a new whatever, and I would watch him crush the Coke can in the bottle, or watch the card fly around, or whatever. I love all that shit.
Yeah. No, that's actually the levitating card is one that I have been practicing actually since you brought it up.
I've got all the easy ones I keep around, like like the coin ones I love because you can palm those and put them in your pocket. But once it gets too complicated,
my favorite is card magic.
I
love
that.
I
can appreciate the skill for sure. But
that's what I've been practicing. Are those moves? Are the sleights, as they call them?
I dazzled an unending amount. So when I was 16, I worked at a tiny little amusement park.
Oh.
And so before each ride, I had to check everybody's, belts or whatever. And if I liked the look of the kid, like if he didn't seem like a dick and he didn't have crap all over his face and he seemed like a cool dude or cool chick, I would whip out my coins and be like, da 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 da, and I would turn a penny and a dime, boom, into a single coin. It would blow their minds, and I'd say, enjoy the ride, and I'd send it off real quick.
Yep. Yep. Totally cool. No, I think I know that trick too.
Yeah, one of my favorites. I love blowing people's minds in a small way, and that's the easiest way to do it.
Totally. Absolutely. Yeah, so it's always been a hobby of mine since I was a kid, and I've picked it up and put it down literally dozens of times over the years. And with all this extra time on my hands and feeling a little bored, I got some books from Amazon. Actually, I repurchased books because in my travels I have lost certain things,
books
and
are hard
so
to move.
The books can be, yeah. No, well, I'll admit the 2 books that I purchased, the original copies that I have are stuck in storage, buried in storage, and it was just easier to reorder on Amazon than it was to go dig it out of my storage unit.
I get that.
So, yeah, and it wasn't totally expensive. So, yeah, so I've been thumbing through those and practicing some things, but it's just been with me, and with all this extra time, I'm like, yeah, shit, I'll do it. And so...
People should be taking advantage of it. I sometimes wonder if I made the right decision, because I could be learning the guitar right now. I could be learning the Hebrew language right now. I could be converting to Judaism, but instead of all that stuff, I brought the show back, and now I have time for nothing else. So
Yeah, see, I know how that goes. That's another reason why I kept to a simple video broadcast, we
Yeah,
should say.
video
And
broadcast.
instead of trying to do a podcast. But I wanted to make a note on back what you had said earlier. I miss that creating part as well, when you take all the pieces and start editing them and tightening them up and adding music and
Yeah.
bumps and things like that. No, I miss that creativeness.
And it's weird, and I'm sure you found this too, but even if you don't think there's a skill you can improve at, you do. Like, just for example, all the small shit I do around the studio, like, I don't think anybody else who would just walk in off the street, they'd have to read and go through and, like, editing and stuff. It's all, like, a sort of a technical thing, and I know I used to bitch a lot about it because editing would take so long, but now I've got it down to such a science. It's almost in real time, and I can clip these things together.
Nice.
So
Nice.
something like that might surprise you. So if you start now on something small and like Magic, especially, because that's nice and portable.
Yeah. Oh,
every
yeah.
time you get
No,
a
I've
spare second.
Mm-hmm. No, I typically have a deck of cards nearby anytime I go, or a couple $50 in my pocket.
I've always spent my life wishing I had, like, a thing in my pocket that could define me, because I grew up around people like that. Like the people who I knew who did Magic always had, like, something in their pocket they could do it with, or they could do it with a piece of paper or whatever. All the guitar players I know would always have a few picks in their pocket. All the drummers I know, for some reason, would have drumsticks with them all the time.
Yeah, always in the back pocket. Always in the
Why?
back pocket.
I'd be like, we're going
I
to
have
a
no
movie.
idea why.
Whatever. So that's the thing. I always was the guy, because I was a bass player, didn't use a pick, so I didn't have a thing. I never had a physical thing and still don't. So I've always coveted people who have hobbies that have a prop, because I like props.
You can tell by the looking behind you.
Yeah.
That's half the battle is right here. But I don't get to hold any of this stuff. Like, the closest thing I have to a prop is my little Iron Man here, who's now simply just an ass.
Well, I mean, you've got your masks, are technically your props.
Yeah, technically, but I want to. And there's no reason. Like, no one. Here's a perfect example. I used to hang out with a guitar player who was like professional level skills. Always had a pick in his pocket. Could pick up a guitar and play it anytime he wanted to. Never saw him do it. Those picks sat in his pocket, and they might as well have been quarters. It didn't matter. Like, they. But I would like. And I don't want to be like one of those guys who just has it as an affectation. Like, maybe I'll go crazy and get one of those, like, weird neck harnesses for a harmonica and just walk around at work.
I played the harmonica a little bit years ago.
Playing is one thing, but walking around as an accessory, and I would not mention it. I would bring it up because at work,
That'd be the first thing your boss brings up.
I don't think so, because every time I make a radical visual change, like when I would shave my head bald or cut off my beard, all those weird big things I would do and still do occasionally, not a peep. So I bet if I walk in with an old mouth harp on a thing around my neck, and even if every once in a while I blew a single note, not a person would say anything. I guarantee
I
it.
don't know.
I could play it all the way through the office, out to the lobby, and all the way through to the mailbox. No one would give a shit. I'll do you one better. I could be Dick Van Dyke and Mary Poppins. I'll throw on the drum and everything.
Oh, Jesus. Will you speak with the crappy Cockney accent, too?
I would have to. Unless
Yeah, you would. It goes with it.
All the way out the door.
Just make sure you got your video camera rolling.
That's, there's always potential for content, so I'm always prepared.
Perfect.
Here's how I find the internet, and maybe you do too. I'm getting lazier. Like I said, the path of least resistance. I'm getting lazier every day. However, I think I won't have to take a cut in quality is what I'm saying. I'm lazy, so I don't post as much stuff like written, but I'm feeling the pull more and more to do small videos or small live sessions so I can just blather on so that you can hear it in context, and so that when you're reading it, you won't hear my sarcasm, but if I'm saying it, I won't legitimately have to answer the hypothetical that I posed. Like, obviously, I'm not going to shove 100 golf tees up my ass and eat, broccoli so they will shoot out like a Gatling gun at a wall. Whatever the case may be, it was obviously done in jest. But no matter how outlandish the situation, my point is, I will always get at least 2 people being like, this is a bad decision you are making, my friend. And I'd be like, okay, thanks for stopping by. So you don't know me. Like, I feel like everybody who is reading everything I post should be hearing it in my voice because you have access to it. So when you're reading it and it's something outlandish, don't immediately land on, well, this is 100% genuine. Nothing I say is genuine, hardly. Let's be real. Krista, let's check in with a typing square. We haven't checked in with a typing square in a while. Anybody in there saying anything fun? Anybody have any comments, questions, concerns, or otherwise?
No, not really. Cherish dubbed this. Charlie says hi. Cherish dubbed this episode "Until My Battery Dies" Chair Edition.
Yeah. Let's talk about my chair some more. No.
I got a squeaky chair too.
Listen. I could complain about this chair for the rest of the night. Believe you me, but we've got.
Oftentimes he does.
Well, that's what he does.
That's B-sides. That's for patrons only. Yeah, that would be a great thing. So, Charlie.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's start plugging some stuff. I want you to throw out. There's probably an easy way to find the Facebook. Like I'm sure it's what is it a group slash?
It's a page.
Okay.
It's a fan book page. It's Changes in Latitudes.
So just, I'm sure it'd be easy to find. I gotta just type it in the search engine there.
Yeah, and you're linked to it too through my page and all that.
So you can. I'm probably gonna be, if I haven't already. I'd like to think that I always get the footwork done. If I haven't already put it in the description, it should be there by the time it's too late. So sorry about that. But yeah,
that's okay.
What about,
so there's the Facebook group or the Facebook page. It's got pictures of sunsets for those that might be searching for it. On Twitter, my handle is CIL Podcast for Changes in Latitudes Podcast, and I'm not planning on changing that, even though my handle just says Charlie.
Well, so keep going, but I want to unpack that a little bit too. So are we on Instagram also?
Not publicly, no.
Okay. So
I am, but it's not public.
So just the Twitter and the Facebook.
Twitter and the Facebook,
ones. Yeah. Okay. So
it's the easiest two that I can keep control of.
Yeah, I tell you, like everything has its niche, and I like that Facebook is literally whatever because nobody cares and nobody looks at it. But Twitter is too small because I'm a loudmouth and I need more than 140 characters. Obviously, like what 140? Are you kidding me? And then you've got. I think my favorite so far is Discord. Because I can basically scream into the void, and anyone who wants to walk by and see it can be like, "Oh, all right."
Discord and Slack are really cool. Yes, they are.
I
didn't know you had Discord for the show.
I'm in love with Discord. I'll get you that link. You should stop by.
Yeah.
We got a whole meme page that I mean, I would be filling up like, I would be the waiter overfilling the water to an insane degree in the meme page of what we're talking about here. But moral of the story is I want to, for those uninitiated, unpack the name a little bit. So I kind of alluded to it in the thumbnail for the stream on Facebook.
Yeah, I love that.
Sort of unpack it for us so that anyone who is uninitiated with the Changes of Latitude show can sort of get the reference.
Yeah, get the reference and get caught up. Okay, well, I'll keep this as short as possible. Came out as a trans woman in 2014. And in late 2014, I started a podcast called Changes in Latitudes, a transgender experience, to share/document my story, my journey, and just really air whatever our thoughts were out there on my head at the time and observations and things. And I had guests on. Dave was on, as well as Krista. So FFOP was on. Yeah. I think we did a crossover at that point.
Yeah, I think Andy came on and made a fool.
And Andy, yeah, Andy too, yeah. And we've cross-guested so many times.
Yeah.
But so that I went from October 2014 until October 2017.
Yeah, it was quite a while.
Yeah, it was a long while. It was a weekly show. And I like you were talking earlier, you get a groove down and editing just becomes, you can do it boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And I had a groove down. I had it really going.
Yep.
And the two things were happening. One, I got cast in a show to perform on stage, and then I was directing the show that immediately followed that at the local theater. And so that ate up a lot of time, both of those. I still was doing things for the podcast and reposting like popular episodes during that little brief hiatus between October and December. But at the end of December, I put out my Christmas show, and then the show I directed opened in January. We ran till February, and then the second biggest thing that really put the podcast on stop was my divorce.
Yeah.
I got served, and life changed, and then I moved on.
Yeah.
And so
life will wipe you out.
yeah, it will. And so from basically early 2017 until now, I have, I started, like I say on my show, I went full-time, as they say, started living as a woman full-time in July of 2017, early July. And so since then, it's just been acclimating myself to this new life, basically, easiest way to say that.
Let me tell you, this is one of those things where I could probably corner someone and talk the ear off about, but like trans issues, I really dug into.
Oh wow!
And I think that, like, my opinion on everything as a whole is it's just like literally everything else. It has its detractors, it has its heroes, and everything in between. So I think that like the details change from topic to topic, but I also find it compelling that I find the trans community compelling because there are people who say they can point to others in that community and be like, you aren't trans enough, or you aren't this, or you aren't that. And like, you'd think in this type of, I keep wanting to say the word community, but like it's that subsect of the public that, like, since you are so divided and so it's still, it's rocky for this type of person because everybody is up against all the LGBT weirdos that are like against everything, that can't understand progress for whatever reason. Like, look at history and see what has stayed the same. Idiots, whatever.
Yeah, it is a out of all the LGBT rainbow, we'll say LGBTQIA rainbow there, the trans individual, I feel, is probably one of the hardest for others to comprehend. Because if someone comes out and says, I'm lesbian, I'm gay, I'm bisexual, other people can say, oh, okay, well, you just prefer to be intimate with someone of your own sex, or in bisexual case, whoever they're wanting to be with at the time. And people can wrap their heads around that and say, oh, yeah, okay, I get that. But the moment someone says, I'm going to change my gender for me, male to female, or female to male, whatever their choices are, it's something that most people have a hard time grasping. Because it's something they cannot just say, oh, okay, I get the fact that you love someone of the same gender. Because for lesbian, gay, bisexuals, it's a sexual orientation, whereas with trans and non-binary and asexual, it's an orientation.
I think with
that's
trans,
what makes it different.
Yeah, with trans especially, I think here's what, in my opinion, obviously, this is it's going to be correct, but I had to broach it and say it's my opinion. I think what the deal is everybody who is, to use the parlance, like cisgendered, which is like, they identify with their birth gender, yada, yada. So they don't understand the idea of transitioning to a different gender. They take that and they see it and they go, ugh, and it makes them question themselves because they think, why does this person want to give up the thing that Why do you get to change when I have to be who I have to be? And I think that makes them so uncomfortable that it's just like, no, you don't get to do this thing because I don't get to. I think it's covetous. Like people who come out and like back in the old days, I'm gonna say like the 90s, the old days, when Ellen was coming out and like being out of the closet was like the hot button thing, and now that it's like so tame, it's like a bowl of vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Everybody just needs to get used to it, and like that's the thing. Every time somebody says, "Oh, I'm this thing," the public as a whole, you personally have to be like, "Oh, that's a thing." Then you have to mull it over and be like, "Ooh, could it be possible that I could be that?" And like maybe it awakens something, maybe it makes you question. And if you're one of these dummies who's like, "Yeah, I'm who I am," no, thank you. I get that, but then you guise it under like, well, you know, God made you, or whatever zany reason you have to keep people from being who they are and wanting to be what they want to be.
Yeah. And well, there's that, and then there's also the side of the chasers, as they're so dubbed, the people who, they fetishize trans women. Basically they think that any trans woman or specifically trans woman, but any trans person that's out there is exactly how they would be in porn movies. And life doesn't work that way.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So.
And they're predators. They're horrible people.
But that's the thing. Those people, those type of people, always existed. It's just now, since the high tide raises all ships, Charlie. So if you elevate a certain subsect that has been downtrodden, you're going to elevate all of the hangers on and the other parts of that culture that are going to arise to the surface to at least public awareness, if not like acceptance.
True. Well, there's always a yin and a yang.
Yeah, it's like my example to this is always like when the bathroom thing was big and like they were transitioning people to use the bottle of bathrooms because they'll be doing all these weird things. Like that's still against the law. Just because you allow someone to piss in another place doesn't mean they're all of a sudden going to enact this criminal passion and break a law because you've let up on this other thing that is technically just a social contract.
Yeah. It's
whatever.
I'm very grateful to live in California for that. Because our rule laws and things allow us to go into the bathrooms where we feel where we identify.
Yeah,
and there's still issues. Don't get me wrong. There's still issues at times. I haven't really kept up on them. I don't like that negativity.
I'm just saying, like, this shouldn't be a divisive. Like this shouldn't be a political thing. It's like if you. What makes it okay for you to tell other people, like, I have a parent. I have two parents already. Thanks. I don't need the government to basically tell me how to live my life. Like, if a law says, hey, you can't murder someone because that person dies, I get that. That makes sense to me because you killed someone. But if a law says you can't marry someone who happens to share the same genetic chromosomal map, who is the victim again?
Right. Yeah. Exactly. No. I don't want to say government, but the medical world has really only up until early 2000s, really held the key. They were gatekeepers for any of the trans community, anything that you wanted to do, and there was a certain list of rules that you had to follow, or else you were not trans enough. You could not go through the steps of transition. You had to follow these rules. And because of the way it was put out in the DSM, it was listed as a mental disease.
Yeah, it was like part of Kinsey's whole report.
Right. And then in the early 2000s, I don't remember the exact date, it changed when they put out the DSM. I think it was number 5, and it went from a disease to dysphoria, and that changed a lot of things. And then healthcare has changed throughout the ages as well.
Let me ask you about this, because I'm sure you come up against or with this issue more often than not. But like nomenclature, like, do you think that because everybody wants their own label now. Like it used to be LGBT, and now it's been stretched out, and now everybody like there's. I'm not saying you have to buy into or this is part of you, but there are people who think there are a million genders. Do you think that people who fractionalize and marginalize themselves into smaller and smaller groups, but still identify as this LGBTQIA banner or whatever, do you think that's like counterproductive a little bit?
Not necessarily, because since there were such fringe, let's just take, for example, asexual or non-binary, somebody that is, let's to keep it simple by definition, someone when you basically look at them across the street cannot tell if they are male or female, and they're non-binary, and you'd leave it at that, okay? In the people who stand up and proudly state, no, I am non-binary, this is who I am, and answer the questions when people ask them, but it shows others who are afraid or may not even think about it that that is also an option for them. Just as you were saying, you know, people start questioning themselves. They see something and they wonder. And so by that, it brings more awareness to it. And yes, it's now a smaller group, but that smaller group is still within the LGBT or LGBTQIA or whatever letters that you want to put in your rainbow word.
However you want to identify yourself. I just think that I get that from inside that sphere, how it can be helpful to identify one group from another. But it feels like, as an outsider, being completely divorced from that world.
Well, yeah. Think of it this way. Let's say you have something that you collect. I don't know, dinosaurs. And, you know, let's just say it's kind of different, kind of weird. Not a lot of people collect dinosaurs. And then all of a sudden, you find this secret group that meets once a month, and all they do is talk and exchange dinosaurs.
Well, no, I'm not like...
And now you've connected with these like minds, and you found that support, and you found that family, we'll just say, and they accept you for you in liking dinosaurs.
Right.
But still people on the outside, oh yeah, that's that group that likes dinosaurs. They're okay. They're not going to kill anybody.
No, my whole hang up is, I'm not saying like the morals or the group or the whatever. I'm just saying that the more that it gets segmented from the outside, it seems like everything is becoming a splinter group, and I think this is like the white bread sort of middle of America argument, is they're so befuddled by having to use different nomenclature. Like, let's just say like the pronoun thing was the start of the thing, and then we get into I don't know, I just think that over fractionalizing things, I get that everybody wants to be their own brand, their own genre,
their own person,
right? But you have to get that base really rock solid before you can start expanding. Like the Beatles came along and things blossomed from there, but it took a while for people to warm up. And I think since technology and everything and today's culture moves incredibly fast, we're moving through and getting these pocket groups, and the nomenclature is moving so fast that I think it's freaking people out. Maybe that's it.
Well, that's for sure. If you're on the outside of the LGBT, and yeah, you may have come around and heard LGBT, what is that? Lesbian, gay, bi, trans, okay, fine, that's them. And that's where you compartmentalize that in your head. And then you start hearing more about that group, and now they want to add more letters, and now there's more than just somebody being lesbian, gay, bisexual, or trans. There's this, there's that, the other thing. Well, let's go back to this dinosaur thing. I am not interested in dinosaurs. Right. So as fascinated as I am in listening to you or someone else speak about them, that's not my thing. So I don't have that information about dinosaurs. But if you heard something, just a little tweet about something, and that just blows up your day because, oh my God, this information is amazing. Well, it connects to you, whereas other things would connect to other people. So yeah, there's total confusion. Yeah. There's going to be total confusion if you're not involved in that immediate group. I don't do sports. So anybody that talks about it, I'm totally lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've come to accept that. It's just not my thing.
That's the bump. Is like new terminology pops up and everybody's like, "Whoa!" Like even if
Well, nobody wants to change the language.
no,
Nobody does.
that's
They want to keep their old words. Maybe they want to put new words in that help themselves, but that's it.
yeah. It's this bizarre need that we have to keep things the same, but when you look back at all the things that have changed, and you can still look forward and be like, nope, that's all the ground we're given. Like you look at all the progress humans have made from the inception of hominids 2 million years ago. Would you rather, like if you're an OG, like I want the old ways, would you rather be a hairy ape living in sub-Saharan Africa running for your life from saber-toothed cats? I doubt it. I doubt it very much. But
I wouldn't.
But that's the thing. Old value just means like crappy, and you don't want to change.
Yeah, it's a closed-minded way to look at things. To not be aware that the world changes all the time, and to not at least try to be aware of it. Because I can't pay attention to all the shit going on. I can't watch the news right now. It's too goddamn depressing. It's too much for me to digest. And I know that's me. I know people that can leave it on all day, and that's that. And I'm good for them. Good for you. Not for me. And because I just can't keep up on that stuff. It wears me down and makes me a person that I don't like being.
It's just another plug in like this endless stream of content, but it's since it's like
you said stream.
I know, but that's what it is. Like when it's because it's always flowing, like it is always going. Like the 24-hour news cycle, because they have to compete with literally everybody else with movie streaming services. Like, so I get that. When I think of a streaming service, I think it's on all the time and it's streaming through the internet to your, like, it's not a live broadcast. It can be canned material.
Right.
And I forget where I was going with that, but
that's okay. It's okay. No, live stuff and live entertainment is tough to compete with because everybody's got the on-demand entertainment.
And you have to be salacious for someone. Every time I hear breaking news, that term breaking news is so like it's
archaic.
Not only that, but it's the boy who cried wolf. Like, I don't want to hear breaking news and then be like, a piece of rye bread fell off the president's sandwich. Great. Okay. Bye.
Thanks for interrupting my show. Now I got to watch the summer rerun.
Every time they say breaking news, it's going to be something lame. But that's like the funny thing about the news. I love local personalities too, because they
local news.
I'm
all
sure
the out there
pieces and all the little. I only watched it for like the flubs, but we have to get into that. So Charlie, I think I'm going to start wrapping it up, but I want to thank you for coming on this show. It's been real fun.
Well, thank you for having me here. I always have a blast with you guys. I love you guys.
I
love the show.
It's this is something that. I would like to think that in some small way your Wednesday has gotten a little bit better. And if you weren't turned off by my soapbox, even better.
No, never. No, I had a blast. This is great.
All right, Charlie. So
I love being here.
Once again, we're going to plug Changes in Latitude, the show on Facebook. Get over on Twitter. I'm hopefully, if it's not there already, as I mentioned, put those in the description below. And
we never talked about how that name happened. We never came back around to it. We got sidetracked.
Oh yeah, boy, oh boy. So let's put a button on that real quick.
Let's put a button on that. No, it's a Jimmy Buffett song, Changes in Attitudes, Changes in Latitudes. Or Changes in Latitudes, Changes in Attitudes. And I'm a Buffett fan. I like Buffett. And when I was putting together that show, I was trying to think of just what to call it. And that song played, and it stuck with me because that's what it was. It was a change in attitude, a change in latitude.
Yeah.
And so that's where that came from.
All right. So now I'm sure
now that we got that button.
Somebody was out there like, what? They never did that. Okay. So now
see how we're good that way.
All right, so the one thing I will plug is the merch store. There is definitely a link in the description below for the FFOP merch. Just confirmed that we are now partnered with Heart, the Heart Rescue. It's the homeless animal rescue team here in Arizona. So
Yay.
everything
Awesome.
Popeye
Hey, buy some
related-
shit, guys.
Yeah, everything Popeye related, like this gator cloth, all the proceeds go to Heart. So, you'll be helping with kittens, you'll be helping with puppies, you'll be helping fostering, and there's, the spaying and neutering. The guy who runs it, Eric, is committed because a cat bit his hand and broke a tooth off in it, and he's still doing the job.
Wow.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, he deserves it. So get in there and check out that merch. We'll be back in 2 days for something. Wayne June. Wayne June will be on the show in 2 days. That one's going to be a pretty slick one. So think about what you would want someone of his voice to say, because in the typing square, maybe we'll take some requests and he'll say it in his booming voice. I haven't sprung it on him yet, but I'm sure he'll go for it. All right, guys. Also, let's thank the chatting square, the typing Chad, the typing square. Thanks for showing up, everybody. I appreciate it. It's always fun. Thanks for coming. Keep your eyes locked on the Facebook because I've got more events to be released, and I'm gonna start plugging this now. The Halloween episode.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I'm so excited.
I am putting together a Halloween special that is taking place in a haunted house.
Spooky.
Spooky. You're gonna want to show up for this because I have not decided on the costume yet. But whatever I do, it's gonna be something. It's gonna be something. So yeah, everybody, thanks a lot. This was a great show, and once again, you've been watching Until My Battery Dies, where we had a battery die and we kept going.